All right, everyone, welcome back in. My name is Mark, and I hope everyone is doing well. All right, listen. Last month, I only read one book, just one. And you know what? I am not mad about that. And the book is The Floating Castle by L. N. Holmes. This book talks about a princess who is on her way to marry Prince Elias from a rival kingdom, in order to keep the peace for her father. Well, Elias, he has absolutely no intentions of marrying Princess Lilling. He refuses to be forced to marry someone that he does not want to marry. He goes against his father. His father doesn't know that, but he does not intend to go through with it. While Lilling is trying her hardest to keep the wedding going, keep it on schedule for her father. But soon after she arrives to this kingdom, she soon realizes that things will just not be going the way they're supposed to go. And eventually she is thrown into a situation that she really needs to get out of. She tries to message her father when she finds out the truth about Elias. But there is something that is getting in the way of her messages getting to her father. And then soon after, she, like I mentioned, she is thrown into a situation that she has to decide whether or not she is going to go through with the wedding, or at least try to make it go through with the wedding, to keep peace in order for her father, or escape to save her own life. And you have two commoners, let's just say E and Valina, who get thrown into the mix of everything. And now they are just, going to bat for Lilling. The story has such an intricate plot with characters that you will love. You will be cheering for. And then there are characters like Elias and his whole crew that you just want gone. You want them to be dealt with. The author does a very great job with the 4 different points of views that she writes about in this story. There's no confusion. It does not distract you in any way. She stays focused. She keeps it at a perfect pace throughout the entirety of the book. And it's truly amazing how she did that. The writing in this was beautiful. Beautiful. From the dialogue between the characters, oh my God, it was done so well. So well. This author's writing is very smooth, it's very structured, it's very immersive. It kept me engaged page after page after page. So like I mentioned, I read this book and this book only last month, and I loved it. Everything about it was fantastic. Everything. For a book to really reel me in the way this one did, there were times that I would be staying up late. And I got done 2 chapters. And I said to myself, all right, it's late, 2 chapters. I wake up early. I got to get to bed. But no, the story just keeps you glued to the pages. You have to know what happens next. And while I was at work, the entire time I'm working, I'm just thinking like, oh man, what's going to happen to Lilling in the next chapter? Or what's Elias up to? Like, how come her father hasn't tried to reach out to her? How come Elias's father is this way? Why is this happening? Or, ooh, I know what's going to happen. Maybe this is going to happen. I thought about this book all day. And it is rare that a book does that to me. And I love it when one does. If you haven't already, I highly recommend you put this on your TBR. And if you can, try to move it up a little faster. I'm going to read you the synopsis of the book, all right? She wants to control him, and he wants to kill her. To secure her position as the Emperor's favorite daughter, Princess Fu Lilling sails across a monster-infested sea to marry and subdue Elias of House Zarstafel, crown prince of a rival kingdom. When she meets Elias, however, he unexpectedly refuses to marry her. At risk of being cut off from the Emperor family, Lilling tries to force the wedding only to discover that Elias is a murderer and she is his disposable hostage. Lilling resolves to expose this betrayal to her father and plots an escape, relying on a reluctant guard and a rebel witch to aid in her flight. Elias, who'd rather see them all dead than free, gives chase. The ensuing battle may cause the floating castle to literally fall, and Lilling must decide: surrender and die to keep the peace, or dishonor her father in exchange for her own life and liberty. The repercussions of her choice will ripple across a continent. This book was phenomenal, okay? And I've mentioned this in another video I made a while back. I understand why fantasy is one of the best genres out there. Why everyone really loves fantasy. Going from The Envoys of War by Dave Lawson, An Inkling of Flame by Z.B. Steele, Skyfold by Tim McKay, and now this. I understand. Fantasy, the world that authors create in fantasy is amazing. The characters are amazing. I am really hooked on fantasy now. I don't know how much more fantasy I'll read this year. The plan is to read a lot more, but I do like to keep it fresh. I don't want to get burnt out with one genre, so And I definitely, with how much I'm loving fantasy right now, I don't want to get burnt out with fantasy and then never go back to it. But like I said, this book, the writing, the characters, the plot, the world building, everything about it is fantastic. You will be glued to every page. I promise you. This is a book that I feel like hardcore fantasy readers will enjoy. So, if you haven't already, I highly recommend you put this one on your TBR. And for your information, I am sitting down this Friday, which is the 6th, and chatting with L.N. Holmes. And I cannot wait to dive into this author's mind and learn more about her as a person and everything that, her whole process of writing. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And like always, expect more reviews coming up on this channel. I don't plan on doing any kind of book haul videos on this channel because I really want to focus on reviewing and showing you guys, talking to you guys about the books that I read. And I hope that I intrigued you enough with this book to give this author a shot. So, but enjoy the rest of your day, night, morning, evening, whatever it is for you. Stay strong, stay positive, stay focused, and I'll see you next time.